And Vedika Bahl joins us in the studio. In today's edition, we're looking at Donald Trump's executive order against DEI programs.
Yes, Peter. Well, at the heart of this debate, it all stems back to the Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. It is the largest military cemetery in the United States and the final resting place for over 400,000 American veterans throughout history. Now, we know that since Donald Trump took office and made his executive order to shut down and terminate diversity, equity and inclusion programs, his Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, has made it known that he believes that these DEI programs weaken the military. Now, with Arlington being somewhat of a national symbol, there has been quite a fierce online debate between social media users regarding the content of the Arlington Cemetery website. So let's have a look at some of those reactions. Now, on one hand, social media users are outraged that the web sections and historical pages giving prominence to African American, Hispanic American and female veterans have been removed. This user, for example, with nearly 7 million views there, claims that Colin Powell has been entirely scrubbed from the Arlington Cemetery's page. Colin Powell, of course, the Vietnam veteran and the first African American to become the US Secretary of State. Now, here's another user online who took it a step further, saying that this scrubbing of the website isn't patriotism, it is in fact whitewashing history. Now, this wasn't the case across the board. There were also many that defended the move, saying that anyone buried in Arlington is in fact a veteran and that there's no one who deserves more merit or more attention than the other. And Peter, using the language by many of these responses that I saw, they called this scrubbing of the site and the outrage about it woke classification.
So difficult to get to the truth here with all this noise going on online. So you have managed to, I hope, has the Arlington Military Cemetery actually scrapped race and gender from its website?
Well, Peter, the short answer is yes, it has done. There has been content and historical sections removed, but not entirely. Now, that might seem like a confusing answer to give you, but we do know that the website is actively pushing to comply with Donald Trump's new DEI rules, and they've said so itself on the webpage. It says here, the cemetery is actively working to update our website in compliance with the executive orders by the president and instructions by the Department of Defense. However, it says that nobody in the notable graves section of the website has been removed, just reclassified elsewhere. Now, what does that mean? Well, I took a closer look at the site itself. So this is a screenshot from today of the Arlington National Cemetery. We can see that there is a section, notable graves, highlighting the graves within the cemetery of people who have impacted history. Now, if you click on notable graves, there are many different subsections here organized by the person's role. However, the page did not always look like this. Thanks to web archiving, I was able to find the earlier version of the page where there are distinct subsections for African American, Hispanic American and women's history. There's all given prominence on the page. Now, these are no longer there on the current website. They are totally scrubbed, as has the specific resources. There was lesson plans and resources within those. Those have all been removed as well. So if you are searching for specific information on the contribution of these minorities, it is a lot more difficult and you might have trouble to find it. However, that being said, there is still access to the contribution of minorities online. We saw that claim on X earlier saying that Colin Powell has been erased from the website. That's not entirely true. Though the African American history section has been stripped, there is still a listing for Colin Powell, with information about him, but now you just have to look harder for it. Now, there is more information about minorities also visible on the site and their contributions there, but again, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, it is more difficult to find. But overall, Peter, I would say the Arlington site has scrubbed itself of giving prominence to Black, female and minority veterans. It's removed those sections and those headlines indeed, but there is still information visible. But as I said, it's more difficult to look for unless you know exactly what it is you're after. And of course, the website is pushing to comply with Donald Trump's executive order.